the Longshots Dungeons and Dragons. I am, of course, your handsome, bearded, always with a hat on, Colt Sebastian Taylor. Welcome to the second session of 2024. Everything's going great this year so far. Anyways, let me throw it over to the man with a plan who has everything planned out to every detail. It's the man himself, Mr. Silentbuck.
God, I really wish that was true. But that would actually drive me insane. So, rather than be driven insane, you guys have taken a look in just a couple of the places here in Ythryn and already have a few questions on your minds. How you guys feel this week?
Lots of questions.
Prepared to get betrayed by this new person.
No.
Could be.
No.
My only question is, when do we get to roll dice again?
Well,
Can't get enough.
it's funny you mentioned that.
Oh no. Why would you ask?
Because there are lots of opportunities to roll dice here in Ythryn.
Hooray.
Just depends on where and when. So, who wants to bring us in this week? This week I won't pick on someone, I'll let us volunteer.
I choose Alias.
Why?
Because you've never done it.
Yes, I was literally the first person to do it. That
That's
like
since I've
and
been here.
You caused the most trouble last week.
I don't
Also
even
true.
remember what happened. Okay, I will try my best.
That's
But
why we
you
call
guys
random
are
people to
gonna
do
have to
recaps.
help
It
me out.
incentivizes you to remember.
Yeah, you guys are gonna have to help me out because I Okay, last week on the Longshots Dungeons and Dragons, we finished the battle, or that might have been the week before, but we finished that whole battle in the tower, and moved. No, that was last week, and we defeated what was in there, and then we got the pickaxe, or what is it, the anvil, or the thing that was on the anvil, and that was a thing. I forget what it did, but there were some constitution checks, I'm pretty sure. And then before that, though, Nox ran away, and Carl was not too happy about it, and he went to this glowing dungeon, but he didn't go inside, and Carl was upset, but it's fine because everyone survived. And then after that whole fight, we went to the glowing dungeon and found, oh my goodness, a changeling, the very first, or a changeling who was cryogenically frozen like Walt Disney.
That is not confirmed.
Of all the people that you could have chosen
That's
to be
the one.
frozen like...
That's the one. That's like the big rumor, and that's what I always think of when I think of cryogenically frozen people. I think
Not
of
like Fry from
people-
Futurama or like the people in Alien.
Walt
but
Disney.
Walt
I'd
Disney.
like to publicly apologize to Mickey Mouse and all of his cohorts.
Walt
of
Disney.
Mafia
I
members.
better look this up.
Please
I'm
don't
kidding.
hurt
It
us.
goes Walt Disney, Sylvester Stallone from Demolition Man, and then
Yeah.
everyone else.
Exactly. So we found her, and she is like too weak to function. So now she's chilling, and I have many questions for her. But before we do that, we have to go and get the rest of these elements so we can get out of here. Do something that I forgot what we gotta do. I would love to know.
Get into past that force field into the main tower just because we're here.
Exactly. Oh yeah, with the orb, with the glowing orb, with the glowing orange orb. So that's my recap. I don't remember anything else. I've tried.
That's okay. You hit most of the notes, and I will
Thank
say
you.
that was a good 90%.
Oh, good. Okay, so I'm not completely like. I don't know. Today, my teacher told me to pick a number between 1 and 6, and then the first thing I said was 7, and then the person beside me, she was like, "Okay, no, count from 1 to 6," and then I was like, "Okay, 4," and then I got it the third time. The person beside me said 1, and then I said 2, and then so on. So I understood after the third time, but
I got it the third
It was a
time.
day.
It's going to be a potential
Should be a
episode
good-
title tonight.
Should be a good night. As long as we don't win any puzzles, we'll be fine.
Oh goodness, no, I suck at puzzles. I suck at literally anything that takes any type of thinking.
Well, you're in a good place then. Good place to play a game then.
While you're playing, there's an album from the band Chevelle called "This Type of Thinking Could Do Us In." That might help. So, last week, as discussed, it's so good. I have that album signed. Anyway.
What a fucking timepiece
Very nice.
of like just perfect emo like teenage angst.
Yeah.
And yet so metal. And like the metal from which that was born, you managed to rescue what seems to be the last living member of ancient Nerthil. To what relation they are of ancient Nerthil? You found them in a prison.
Yeah.
You've gotten some basics out of them. However, as discussed, they are too weak to function, and as such have been basically saddled up on Amos, if I remember correctly.
Yes, I created a makeshift little city platform for them.
Perfect.
Correct.
So, then unless you have any other business inside the cryo room and or the prison, you guys can head out and do whatever you're looking for, but no matter what you do, it's up to you.
So
Any-
true.
Are there any documents that survived? Papers?
Nothing paper. Nothing paper.
Any writings, specific writings? Anywhere?
Each of the tanks would have that same kind of draconic writing. If you were to have spent any bit of time in the room looking through, it's all seems to be more X designations.
I'll look at our new friend and say, what went on in this room exactly?
I think I'm going to skip out on the Southern draw dialect for this particular occasion. But
No, do it.
she looks over and is like, "Oh, I don't know. Yeah. Let's keep it. I like it." Well, like I said, it was all kinds of different experiments.
I can only assume that not everyone survived these. This doesn't look like a place that has stringent safety protocols.
Well, when you can make cities fly, mister, it's not really safety you're worried about, more progress. But to your point, no, not many survived.
Yeah, but what other secrets did my home keep from their people? Well, without anything of interest that he can read or evidence, Bradley will kind of like mosey back on over and kind of stand with the group.
So, folks, where did you say we are again?
Pretty sure we're somewhere in Icewind Dale.
Icewind Dale.
Up north.
Oh. Huh.
The Sword Coast? Does that ring a bell?
Never heard of it.
We may not be in the dimension/realm you are originally from.
Well, that is a shame.
Or perhaps things change over a few millennia.
You. Oh. Go ahead.
Or some things change over a few millennia.
True.
Names of places forgotten.
Surely to hope that sequester spell didn't keep me locked up for too many millennia, but
Well,
suppose it is possible.
What year was it for you?
Currently, the year of Scion Ethlorius.
Zion, huh?
It's a title.
Hmm. Whose title?
Of the Archmage of the city.
Oh, he's known as a scion.
Yes, each one had a tower that, well, to use the phrase again, towered over everything in a high, narrow city. It's kind of like gestures if you were looking as the crow flies out of the walls towards the main structure. Surely you saw it when you walked in. I mean, did you walk in? Did you fly in?
Blood.
We mostly just stumbled in. Or slid in.
You're inside a glacier right now.
Well, heavens, a glacier. That's a change of pace. Is it cold out there?
I don't suppose you have a jacket.
That should be all right.
It's pretty cold out.
Risk.
Perhaps, Aaron, do you have any extra cold weather gear or something that we can give her?
That is a great question. Hold, please. I'd like to consult my my sorting machine, Scant.
All right. About?
I'm just being a goofball while I go through my inventory. I think we did get an extra set of cold weather gear, but I don't.
Yeah, I think there was
have
an
it.
extra one or two.
Yeah, it's not
somewhere.
showing in here. I mean, yeah, we'll just hand wave it in. Yeah, Aaron will just pull a magical set of cold weather gear out of her bag of holding.
Oh, look at that.
And
Perfect.
It's gonna
Cushy.
smell like a corpse, probably.
Oh wow. That's just a minute. Which kind of does a few hand gestures similar to prestidigitation. In fact, those of you with magical prowess would understand that pretty easily. It's like almost baby's first cantrip. Tries to get the smell down.
Would you mind casting that inside of my bag for me?
Sure. What you carrying this thing? Raw meat?
Aaron will just look over at Nox. Something like that.
You know, extra dimensional spaces don't air out very well. You got to be careful about that sort of thing.
Yeah. It was a corpse.
So
Nox is looking at you like he doesn't know what you're talking about.
now, if y'all want to level with me, surely you weren't here to bust me out.
No, we kind of stumbled across you by accident,
We're
really.
just here to explore. Yeah. Just exploring, trying to figure out what this place was, you know.
Well, seeing as she kind of gestures down to her legs, I can't quite move at the pace I used to, shall we say. Tell you a little bit about what I know. Now, Scion Ethlorius, like most scions of his day, had a staff. Now, this particular staff could operate a great many things around Ythryn. More so than the rest. I'd very much like to get my hands on that. However, that's going to require at least checking out his study, which is most likely in that central tower. He didn't seem like the type to have a secondary residence. However,
And what exactly are you planning to do with this staff?
well, first I was gonna try to smuggle it out, take it to a rival city who was going to try to play basically a game of political chess with it. Now, though, I think I just kind of want it as a trophy, you know?
So how do you plan on getting it?
Well, she kind of scratches her head. That's the thing. Anyone who wishes to get an audience with, well, especially Ithlorius, but typically any of the Scions, there's an 8-part ritual called the Rite of the Arcane Octad. It's a flowery name, but basically just a bunch of steps and trials to get through so you can pass through unharmed through the field.
And
What
what
does that consist
exactly
of?
are some of these steps?
Well, I'd say most of them should be the same. Let me see. Let's have her roll a history check. Okay. So, the Rite of the Arcane Octad. First, you're gonna have to make a wand out of nether oak, unless you folks happen to have one. Surely there's nether oaks growing all over the place where you come from.
Never heard of it.
Well, that is okay, so long as it survived the fall. There should be a grove here in Ythryn. Next, you're gonna want to summon a flame in your hand. Now, they do typically mean this magically, but I have seen a couple crazy folks just light their hand on fire. That's happened. Now, the next part's where it gets a little juicy. You gotta speak a secret truth about yourself aloud.
No, thank you. I think this is where we part ways. Thank you very much, everybody.
Well, no one said you had to go inside, you know. I can handle talking. Getting to the nether oak and making a wand is going to be a bit of a little hard for me. Then, on the flip side of that, step 4 is compelling someone else to share a secret with you. So it's kind of like a give and take.
Are you suggesting that you need our help?
I am suggesting that I need your help, yes. In fact, I require your help.
And
What are the rest of the steps?
I'm so glad you asked, but it looks like your friend has questions.
Sorry.
I'm sorry. I'm struggling to understand. What exactly do we require of you?
In return, I could tell you anything you wanted to know about the place. Looking at all of you, looks like you're a group of fighting types. You don't really strike me as people who run a library. Well, except for that one. He points over at Anna.
Perhaps you could show us where an armory is. Kind of looks around. I think we wouldn't all mind some upgrades, perhaps.
Well, I suppose if it's weapons you're looking for, what's the slang term for this? Most of the mages here were really big nerds. Most of their weapons were staves, which there is a repository of staves in the central tower, that I'm sure. On the flip side, though, there is an absolutely fabulous cloak shop, I believe in the Western District. Really unique. They give you free fittings. It's great.
Probably
That sounds great.
currently
We will
open,
have to check that out.
but we can definitely
Yeah.
see what survived. So additional steps? One, secrets,
right.
more secrets.
So how about this? In exchange for your staff, helping you get your staff, you take us on a bit of a guided tour.
As well as I've said this earlier, but now I feel there's leverage. You have to have a conversation with me and Anna, I guess, about this situation. And he's like motioning up and down at her.
Well, sure. I mean, I could accomplish the guided tour and a conversation all at once, interpose our conversation with interesting landmarks and facts.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I'm obviously not going anywhere.
Aaron's not super convinced that this is something worth our time, but Aaron will just shrug and say, well, it seems like some of us are determined. So, sure, why not? Also, sorry if you can hear the dog barking above me, that he just kind of goes sometimes.
We might be able to find a more easier egress out of here.
Well, if it's out of here you want, we could always take the Mythalar. If it's still running, that is. Then again, if that thing malfunctioned, the city would have long been obliterated.
And what exactly is the Mythalar?
Well, it's kind of like a swirling vortex of magical energies, usually operated by up to 12 people. It can control the weather, it can make the city fly. Some even say it could shift to different planes.
Is that orange thing that's in the center?
Yeah, that's it. Good, it is still running. I was worried. Well, that means somebody's still attuned to the thing.
So that
someone's
means
alive in
someone
that tower,
else
most likely.
is alive here?
That's gotta be. If there's nobody attuned to it, it goes sort of... the word I'm looking for is crazy. It would destabilize, explode, that sort of thing.
Well, I suppose we don't really want that now.
Alternatively... her brows kind of like arch for a second. And if everybody wants to make me insight checks.
It's a good time to are you fucking kidding me? Never mind.
A 14.
15.
I was gonna say, wow, it's a good time to have a +7 in insight. I got a 2.
How?
I've had those.
Wait, what? If you have
was
a
on the
+7,
verge
you can't get a 2.
That's literally not mathematically possible.
Oh, you mean on the dice, so you got like a 9.
No, like I rolled a 2 +7.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, like
My brain
okay,
for a
no,
second.
like I rolled it, like so I have a 9, but like I rolled a 2 +7, so it's not gonna do me nothing. It was on the verge of 18 too, and it was like teetering, and then it went, and I was like,
So anyone 10 and above kind of gets the impression that she started to bite her tongue for a second as to not give away too much information. So she kind of changes course a bit and goes, alternatively, there could be some other routes beyond the Mythalar. I mean, surely we could dig our way out.
Well, I suppose we could try to climb out the way we came in.
Could work.
It's not gonna be easy. It's pretty slippery. Even with the crampons, we're probably gonna need some kind of climbing kit, but I think we can do it.
Aaron's gonna lean over to her. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
It just won't be easy.
Aaron's gonna lean over to her and whisper in her ear and say, my compatriot Amos here, he has a very violent temper when someone's not being forthcoming with the truth.
His head ratchets backward.
I'm just imagining just swivels like an owl.
Katina's gonna lean over and whisper to him, just go with it, and shooting her claws out.
Oh god.
I assume Bretland didn't hear any of this.
I mean, worst case, you're seeing Amos's
Yeah.
head whip around.
I think Brennan will kind of step up with his arms crossed, watching this situation.
All
Um,
right.
I'd like to try to intimidate her. I don't know if you need me to roll for it or not.
Sure. If that's your intent rather than deception, absolutely.
Actually, yeah, deception's probably closer to what I'm trying to do here. Yeah. Do you want me to roll deception?
Yep. It's all based on intent.
Oh no.
Damn, the rolls tonight are not working good.
She looks down at Amos, who's like, he's blepping with his tongue a little bit and doesn't notice. She's like, "You mean him? Oh, he don't look
Can I
like."
try to persuade her that he's far scarier than he looks?
Sure.
Can I add to that?
That one.
Oh, I guess
Oh,
it doesn't
boy.
matter, but I was gonna try and
Okay.
help.
Okay.
Amos rolls over for belly scratches.
Okay.
Oh,
Brentwood, seeing these A for effort attempts to intimidate our new guest, will kind of like step around and kind of look at them and say, it's going to be much easier for us to get you what you need, want, which I believe includes out of here. If perhaps you were completely forthcoming with us about what's going on here. Feels like perhaps you're not being completely forthcoming with us.
She sighs. It's like, look. I know you have no reason to believe me, but I'm gonna say it anyway. Believe me when I tell you that I do not mean you any harm. But there are some things in this city that I don't think you quite could grasp. Now, I could be wrong, but
Why don't you try
Okay.
us?
fair enough. At some point during the different reigns of the Scions, they had come up with a way to divine fate on demand through a few different uses of some magical tools and a few powerful wizards with even more powerful staffs. They created a great many what they called obelisks. Now these things may be about 12 to 20 feet tall. These things, when used appropriately, can turn the tide of battles, change events to suit whoever's using them. I could, if I had the appropriate tools, bring myself back to the time when this city flew. But I'm not that girl. I'm not trained like that. Any attempt to use that would surely end in unknown catastrophic events. I might take myself too far back. I may only take myself back a week. But maybe some of you, if you're learned enough or strong-willed enough, perhaps maybe there's a way for you out, or a way out for you with the obelisk.
Katina is gonna hold her paw out and say, "Give me a random minor treasure."
She's just gonna blep out a scroll on the gem table.
no way.
Wait, what did she blep out?
He's really gonna
Oh.
give me a random treasure. You're funny.
Gonna be a 100 gold worth jet, an opaque deep black Don't.
We found our plane, guys.
Let's fly out of here.
Let's go.
Jet is a
That's
rock, you guys.
Nifty trick.
I know.
Give me a random magical item.
What? Yep. It's what happens when people are going to redeem things in the middle of conversations. They're just going to be blepped out by the current NPC.
Oh, that was weird.
Unless it is a chicken, then the chicken will lay it.
Oh my god. That was funny. I'm so sorry.
So,
Wow, you
quickly.
just do that on command?
I do not know where that came from. I'm going to chalk
Okay,
that up
moving
to
on.
magical experiments.
Is it like covered in like?
Saliva?
Wild, like,
It is a soggy
Yeah.
stone, yep.
Ew.
Well, that's neat.
Anyways, Izzy wanted to explore the grove, and it sounds like that's our next step in completing these this ritual. Perhaps we should head there.
I'm still curious as to the remaining 4 steps.
Yes, that brings me to a couple of items we might need. First, after you speak a secret and compel somebody else to share a secret, which, if all of you want to get inside the tower through the field, you'll have to all do this.
Go around in a circle.
Like a round robin sort of thing. Then you'll have to quench that flame you made in your hand in ice. And then finally you'll need to mask your appearance. Now this one's interesting. I hope you guys have something handy. You're gonna have to draw a circle on the ground, typically, wherever you want to pass through, using the ashes of a corpse. Now the magic is not really picky about whose corpse or what corpse, or could even be the ashes of the same corpse y'all use, but ashes of a corpse is the thing. And I know what you're thinking.
Of a humanoid, or
Could be anything. Could be a rat corpse. Could be a...
Wally?
Wally?
No,
No, we can't go.
What about
Wally.
No,
We
guys,
have the bag.
we still have scratches.
Oh, Scratches was revived.
And then there's one more. Now this one's the stickler. Once you're inside the circle, you want to stand inside the circle you drew with corpse ashes, and you want to drink poison.
Do you
We
think
cannot
we're
kill you, or just enough to make you a
stupid?
bit sick?
Insight check.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd like to also do an insight.
And while you're insight checking, she's gonna answer.
There you go. That's more like a 24.
And she was pretty stone faced when she said it.
I see what you did there.
You're joking.
Nope. I mean, the entire thing was to see if you were strong-willed enough and strong of body and mind enough to get in to actually speak with one of these folks.
So this is for the tower.
Yes.
So you don't have to drink enough poison to kill yourself. Just any amount of poison will do.
Well,
Any
no,
poison.
ideally they don't want you to die, but
No, I would hope not.
What's the threshold? Can I just drink some caffeine, and because technically enough caffeine will kill me, it's a poison?
I
No,
mean, there's always
something-
sugar. Sugar is very extremely toxic.
Hey, they value brains more than brain thought, so around it. Does that work?
I mean, not to rain on anyone's poison parade here, but these seem like these are pretty serious people that wouldn't appreciate loopholes.
Aaron's
You
gonna
don't
lean
know
in
them.
and whisper into her ear. What is her name, by the way?
Xeraphon.
Zeraphon?
Xeraphon.
Japon.
Zeraphon. Aaron's gonna. Oh. Aaron's gonna lean in and whisper into Zeraphon's ear and say, I just wanted you to know that another random minor treasure was redeemed in chat.
I hate you guys.
And all of a sudden, she's kind of like looking over. She goes,
Let's poop one out.
Hey,
Oh my
I think you
God.
got something behind your helmet. Oh,
No
what's this?
way!
And brings back a transparent red, brown, or deep green. Your choice. Spinal. Spinel? Spinal?
Oh my God.
Deep grain for sure.
Also worth
That's
100 gold.
funny.
Nice.
Full of surprises. All right, so
What did you say the steps were again for the obelisk with the going back in time thing?
Well, if you were trying to use the obelisk, you would need an object of immense power.
Big.
Conveniently, the staff that I'm after is typically referred to as a staff of power. That would do it.
Oh, interesting.
And the person who may or may not be attuned to the Mythalar, is it the Mythalar?
Yes.
Yeah. Would that be the same person, perhaps, who has the staff?
Honestly, somebody with enough spite, rage, and magical know-how. Yep, probably. Most likely it's Ithlorious.
Mhm. So, do you need magic to use this staff, or?
Well, typically, I mean, if you want to use it in the ways of magic, yes. Typically, someone who would either have magical blood, or maybe a magical benefactor, or maybe just someone learned enough.
In the ways of the obelisk, though.
Well, I mean, ideally, you'd want to be a little bit more versed in the obelisk, but I just mean magic in general. Someone with a tight grasp on the weave.
Oh my god, maybe my daddy Lathander knows what's up. Also, my cat wants a minor treasure.
Doing this. What did you say you needed that staff for again?
Blep, some tourmaline.
Some pettiness.
Katina's gonna tuck it behind his mechanical ear.
What did I need the staff for? Well, really, it was going to be a trophy. I was sort of hired to take it anyway.
Many, many years ago, though.
Yeah, but I have a reputation to keep, and even though the person that...
I don't think you have much of a reputation now.
Yeah, you're
To
kind
be
of...
perfectly forgotten about. Sorry to say. I know that's harsh. But...
Not much forgotten, but the people who you knew were definitely not here anymore. Forgive my bluntness, but it's true.
Well, alright. But it would at least give me satisfaction to know that I was able to complete such a thing. And if he is still alive, controlling the Mythalar, then, well, it should be me that brings him down.
Is he someone
So
really
you also
who
want
needs
to bring
be
down
brought
his staff?
down?
Well,
I mean, if he's maintaining his connection, if he's preventing this Mythalar from blowing us all up, then perhaps we don't exactly want to defeat him.
I mean, I could always attune to it.
Sounds good to me.
Sure.
Velen, what's your take on this?
Her jaw has been on the floor for most of this conversation, and in between hurried scribbles in the notebook, she's like, wow, okay, so, not just one, but two living Nerthil Empire members. I am ecstatic. The Arcane Octad, interesting. Who knew you could have spells that were so specific? Especially for force fields. My take on what in particular before I just start rambling.
How tremendously dangerous a place that could possibly send people through time would be to the general public is basically what I'm thinking.
Well, I mean, historically, we're talking about a people that literally killed the goddess of magic. So, I mean, yeah, this is a dangerous place. But also, since mostly everyone is dead, it's a lot less dangerous. So, degrees of success?
Well, I'm more thinking about the technology that still exists here that could
Right.
perhaps, outside that glacier, how many powerful interested parties would be scrambling down that little ice slide to get their hands on this place?
That
Everyone.
I did not think of. What we
Might be
learned here
worth-
today, exactly. She kind of looks down at her notes. I'm never going to get to publish this, am I?
Might be worth destroying it.
I mean, if it's no longer functional, you could certainly publish it, but I mean,
Well,
who
not
would
enough that
believe me
someone could
then?
recreate it.
well, you could tell a story, you don't have to tell details. But
Right,
think
but as
that-
soon as someone knows, it's possible, they're gonna work to try to achieve it with any means possible.
Stories are dangerous too.
She kind of looks down at her book and closes it up. Wow.
Think
This
about
whole
it.
time.
This isn't a decision we have to make right now. I say we find out more information. And
I agree.
perhaps consider what our options are at a later date. Right now we can only move forward with the
Right.
information that we have.
Well, I'll
So
tell
hang,
you
hang on to your notes.
from what I understand, and one thing I can understand. Wow, I slipped into her voice. One thing I can understand. The obelisk that Xeraphon is speaking of, the last one of those the Brotherhood encountered, was in Cholt. We believe it to be tied in some way to a lich. Whispers in the wind call him Asarak. I would suggest
And we're
we
back.
steer clear of the obelisk. Or maybe
We'll-
like extreme last resort.
Right. We'll find more information and make more informed decisions later.
I think our next steps is to get to that wood for that wand. Seems to be the first step we have to do.
Yep.
Is that
Amos
cloak
and I are
shop
gonna go
between
kill somebody for a body.
Well, the dead city, we might come across a body nice as it is that we could just.
Do bones
That's
count?
boring.
Does it have to have flesh that you burn, or is bones fine?
Well,
And how much
That-
exactly do we need? Because we do have the two
There's
hands.
a wizard bones. There's wizard bones in the tower that we were just in.
There are wizard bones.
I suppose that could work so long as you get enough to draw a couple circles out of it.
All right. Why don't we swing around to the tower, pick up those bones, and then we'll head off to the grove.
All right.
Sounds reasonable. Is that cloak shop you spoke of in this particular district?
One more up to the northwest, indicated here.
Okay. Alright.
So we get the bones, we go to the oak forest, then we go to the cloak shop.
Yeah, I think that will have us cover the most ground and do it in a careful manner. Zaranov, I think you should remain in the middle of this particular group, considering your mobility issues.
Okay. Yep. Like I said, I'm kind of strapped to this cat, so I don't think I'm going anywhere.
Delightful. Well then, this has been a truly terrifying yet informative amount of information.
Perfect. So then, out of the prison you go. If everybody could roll me a 12 on your way out.
Hooray.
I rolled a 12.
Good job. That's probably bad. For
Probably.
Me too.
all of us. 2.
3.
Oh god.
Oh my God,
Sorry,
Marty! It's the
I'll-
Libyans.
1.
I'm traveling.
But 1 through 3, 12, 12. 9.
Okay. On your way out of the prison district, you kind of pass through a different street upon which there's a mural kind of like done engraved on one of the walls. It seems to picture what seems to be powerful mages or spellcasters preserving their brains inside of jars.
I'd like to carve Lathander's symbol into that mural.
All right.
Zareth, what's this an
Zarathon.
advertisement? Zarathon, is this an advertisement?
It was a way that the most elder mages could preserve themselves forever.
Did you ever see that in person?
No, they're very closeted about that particular ritual. It's sort of a behind closed doors sort of thing.
Seems odd to then put it on a wall in public.
I guess
It was seen as a status symbol. You know, once you were a brain in the jar, you were sort of like a typically reserved as a scion who moved on from office, was no longer interested in holding a position, and you just kind of wanted to study books forever.
I wonder if these wizards' brains are still in jars and if those jars are still active.
Maybe. Though they'd be plumb insane by now.
Probably.
It's not long before you guys make it back to the Tower of Abjuration, where you are able to snatch up those bones.
Awesome. Chuck them in
Stick them in the
Aaron's
bag.
bag of holding.
Yeah.
Back to the field.
Back to the pile.
And then you guys are heading over towards the Grove.
I believe so.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
that's where I'd want to go, yeah.
The series.
So the closer you get, this is the most foliage you've seen in years, where a canopy of golden leaves crowns the trees inside of a sunken basin. They seem to grow in stark contrast to their bleak surroundings, and their branches swaying, even though the air is deathly still.
What can you
Before
tell us
we
about
go-
these trees? Oh, go ahead.
No, I was about to say something similar. Like, what should we
Oh.
know before we go in?
Well, yeah, they called them nether oaks. Are really good for enchanting purposes and things. Takes really well to magic. One thing, the trees. I advise you to be nice to the trees.
Why?
Well, they don't like to be woken up when they're sleeping. If they happen to be awake when we're here, we ask them nicely, politely, to give up a branch, or she counts, or more.
Katina is going to stop on the tree.
All right.
Now,
Hands to ourselves here.
on the flip side, if they do happen to be sleeping, if you're quick enough and quiet enough, and you got a light touch, you might be able to slip in and grab a couple branches and slip out without them waking up.
Oh, I can do it.
Or me.
Don't
I
carve
can
any
help.
symbols into any trees.
Do these ones look awake to you or asleep? I mean, they're
Mhm.
waving around with no breeze, so does that mean they're awake or?
Well, I don't see any eyes or a face, so that usually means they're sleeping. They look like normal trees when they're still and unconscious.
Okay, I want to try and steal one.
Yeah, me too.
Okay. Someone didn't.
I
Just to
have a
help with
plus
any
11.
ability checks.
What kind of check
So,
are we making
what?
for this?
I was assuming
I will
sleight of
need
hand.
a stealth check.
Oh shit. Okay, wait. Okay, well I have a 7 then.
Okay, I have a plus 13.
Okay. So I would like
All
guidance, please.
Be careful, you two.
Yeah.
That'll be a 30.
Fucking hell.
Golly.
15.
You can add, and then if it's a check, I think you can add the guidance, which is a D4.
Okay, D4. 15. 18. 15, 16, 17, 18. Yeah, 18. Right? Is that correct? Hang on.
15 plus 3 is 18.
Yes, okay, yeah, 18. No, I was like, did I actually roll a 15 or is my brain playing tricks on me? Oh my goodness.
No, you rolled a 15.
No, you're right.
18 then.
All right. So Katina, Nox, you guys creep forward, getting towards the tree closest to the outer edge. And Katina, you're able to make it up towards the trunk of the tree and begin kind of reaching up. Nox, you do the same. But Nox, as you're climbing, your foot kind of slips off of one of the trunks, kind of clacking against the wood. Beneath a horrible groan and a creaking, I need you all to roll initiative.
Yeah!
Hey, here we go.
I can't even talk to it!
No, let's kill the tree.
No, wait! I can't even talk to it?
Nobody says you can't talk to it, but it is going to be initially hostile.
Oh, man.
You want to take a quick 5 minutes to set this up?
Oh, we're gonna head to break because it's almost a perfect hour.
Great.
Well...
All right, we'll be right back with some fisticuffs.
No!